On the flip side of it, Mr. Speaker, that again will be linked to the carbon credit. A lot of resources will come to our country because the more we restore our forest, the more we'll play a role in the reduction of the emissions, the greenhouse emissions. So on one side, it's good for our country. We will increase our forest cover. It's in the Constitution. And Mr. Speaker, let me say it. In our preamble, Article 4 of our preamble talks about the environment. We must preserve our environment. It's our heritage. So it is, it's not even an article of the Constitution. It is in the fourth preamble of our Constitution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. In the next questions, Honorable Duale tried to hit pointed answers. That was a good introduction to what is actually the epicenter of your ministry. I'll now ask the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maybe just to start with a clarification, Honorable Duale, you said you work with corporates to restore degraded forest and own it. I hope you said you don't mean to transfer ownership to the corporates. I hope it's to own the work.
And they can use it for branding.
Thank you. I don't want to repeat what you've said because you've, as the Speaker said, you've really taken care of the carbon credits issue. But even as you do that work, Honorable Duale, you know, we have very many petitions in Parliament on degazetted forests and forests that are grabbed. I would want to hear how you intend to work with Parliament, especially in dealing with all those issues, land issues around degazettement, encroachment of forests, and outright land grabbing of forested areas. Case in point, I'm aware, I know, and I don't know if you may be aware, of the Ololua forest matter just outside Nairobi, and what you would intend to do to reclaim all this grabbed forest land.
Mr. Speaker, when I look at the ministry and even Parliament, there are a number of petitions touching on forest, grab land of the forest, part of the forest be put under use either for agriculture, for even government offices across the country. And the history of forest being grabbed, being encroached, is as old as the Republic of Kenya. In my entire life in Parliament, from the Mao forest, when the Honorable late Michuki was the Minister for Environment, it's a recurring thing. And what I want to intend, if this House approves me, Mr. Speaker, is first to consolidate all those petitions. Some are genuine, some are out of fraud. Generally deliver a cabinet memo, and the cabinet, the highest decision-making organ of our country, can make a decision on this matter. All the petitions, the ones dealt with the Parliament, the ones which have not been dealt. Coming specifically to Ololua, Mr. Speaker, I want to categorically, without fear of contradiction, say that if this House approves me, in the first 30 days, working with the Minister for Lands and other government agencies, a number of titles, including and belonging to big people in government, some of them members of Parliament, will be revoked. I will revoke those, and I am ready to bear the consequences, particularly for the one on Ololua. I have been briefed, I have listened to experts, and I have seen it's deliberate. In the last 2 years, there are people who got illegal title deeds, and I think it will be the first place I will visit, and also with the Committee on Environment And I hope the chair is a member of this committee, my chair. We will visit. And please, Mr. Speaker, some of your members might be casualties.
No problem. If you do what is right, we will support you. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, is that to say the CS nominee actually knows the grabbers of Ololua Forest? Because he has claimed they are senior government officers, including members of parliament. I hope he's not referring to me since I asked the question.
Mr. Speaker, I am the nominee for the Minister of Environment, Climate Change, and Forestry. So if this House approves me, forestry will be my business. Grabbers of forest land will be my business. Whoever they are, whatever their status is in society. Mr. Speaker, if I just to say it, and I think for record, let me say it. With the last 2 years when I was at the Ministry of Defense, and I had the privilege to serve as a member of the National Security Council, and you served as a member of the Security Council when you're Minister of Foreign Affairs. If today I'm asked between Al-Shabaab and corruption, which is a threat to the national security of Kenya, without fear of contradiction, I say corruption is more of a threat to our security and our existence than Al-Shabaab, because Al-Shabaab, you can identify, you know their location, you know their capability, but corruption is the one that is killing our country. So, as I go to environment, from NEMA to forestry, at least, if you are hearing me and you sit here or you are somewhere and you have allocated yourself illegally some forest land, be warned if this committee approves me.
Junaid?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have two questions for the nominee. One is, first, it is one of which is on him, one of the nominees that have come here, Mr. Speaker, and